Well, well, well. I'm not Danny, therefore I don't have a witty line, but I can welcome you to the After the Show show. It's Malt, Magic and more.
Heyo.
Hello.
And we welcome back our guest.
Oh no.
Oh no!
That's just right. No. Welcome back our guest.
We don't welcome him back. We don't welcome him back.
Well, we
Thank you very
welcome
much.
back our guest.
Just as he does
Why,
that.
thank
Let's see if we can get our DM back, shall we?
Pretty much pitch perfect. Hey, there he is.
Well, that doesn't usually happen.
That was brilliant.
Not sure
That's
when we're there.
amazing.
Oh, super.
Anyway, as I was
Oh,
saying,
man.
we welcome back our very special guest from Monday night, Mr. Bulky.
Yay.
So thank you.
Man.
No, thank you again, Paul,
Wearing the
for
same clothes
joining us.
though, wait.
We're all wearing the same
We are
clothes. It's
wearing the same
uncanny,
clothes.
mate.
Yeah, but should
It's
I have
weird,
changed?
isn't it?
Should I have changed?
No.
It's
Weird.
Create the illusion that because this is going out
We
on
just wear-
Wednesday,
we-
right?
It
It's
is.
almost like
We just
none of
wear
us
the
ever
same clothes
wash.
on- Yeah, we just have to wear the same clothes on
Great.
Mondays and Wednesdays. It's fine. It's absolutely,
Yeah,
it's cool. It's
okay.
absolutely
Hey,
okay.
it's all good. Thanks for breaking the illusion.
How was
there,
that? How was that, Paul?
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, how did you enjoy that?
I'm sorry. Yeah, it was good, but yeah, some interesting things that I wanted to do but couldn't do. Very nerve-wracking to do this live on air. Sure.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah,
You
you
kinda-
get used to it.
Yeah, it's kind of like
Yeah.
it's weird because we don't really, other than like sometimes seeing the chat, we don't. I certainly don't because I'm not watching the stream at the same time. So I'm like, I don't really like acknowledge it anymore. It's just like, oh cool, just playing my mates and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, I
Makes
think
sense.
it's just really nice the fact that we do this for us. We play it, we love it, and it just so happens to be that hopefully some other people like watching it, and that's it. I love it.
Pretty much it.
Yeah.
Well, you managed to drag in some extra viewers on Monday anyway, Paul,
did.
so thank you for that.
Yes, you did.
For getting out to your collective group of friends and allies.
Yeah, I'll need to.
So-
I'll make sure the like and subscribe on YouTube on Friday.
Hey.
Yeah, let's get
Friday
it
is
done on
I don't know
Friday.
the time.
Friday
I
at
remember
it should be 7:30.
Moving it all earlier. But,
We
oh,
are
well,
moving
okay. So,
everything earlier.
Matt,
So how
that
do we
was,
enjoy death?
Yeah, that was awesome. That was so much fun. You know, yeah, really interesting.
See, as
and-
I say, the source of that or the inspiration is very much the Old Kingdoms
Yes,
series
Yeah.
from Garth Nix.
which I loved.
on
I
tables.
I've just spent 3.5 hours in a book I've loved reading, kind of thing. It's just been awesome. I loved it.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I love those books. I mean, I think there's 5. I think there's a 6th coming out as well.
Yeah,
So I think there's one about Sabriel's father and mother, which is going to be awesome. So it's like a prequel. Although they've already done a prequel, so it's going to be an interim equal. I don't know.
well, it'll be about her mother because they've already done her father, sort of, haven't they?
Well, no, they've done Clariel and spoilers here. Clariel and like the Lost Abhorsen, if you've not read the books.
Yeah.
And then which is set a lot of time before Sabriel, and then there's this new one which is Terciel and Eleanor, I think it's called. Comes out this year.
Nice.
So I'll be checking that out because I'm
Wait,
currently halfway through Abhorsen on audiobook. So
Yeah, it was just so much fun. So you know that bit was really great, and actually, I think we worked quite well together to actually pull some crucial bits together then, which was, you know, we haven't done that type
we
of
all
fighting
know
style
the clutch
in a
point
long
was the
time.
hiding in the flaming box. That was definitely clutch.
Absolutely, yeah,
So
absolutely, just 100%. That
good.
just completely transformed that fight.
So good.
So,
So
I mean,
confused
obviously,
everybody
you
on the
always say-
pitch at that point.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you always say that the first character you make is is yourself. So I can say that for certain, not being my first character, I would never hide in a flaming box. That's not my MO, I guess. But yeah, that
So
was
what
a
was
So
interesting.
what was Deimos? That his name?
Deimos.
Apparently.
I think I pronounced that right, based on what Paul said me was going to be the name.
I don't really want to say because I've got a few things. I mean, he's obviously a wizard. That's all we should know.
Yes, he is a wizard.
I mean, obviously, it got a little bit mad. I think it became quite apparent when it was said at the end that obviously thought you weren't real and were just figments of his imagination, which I was a little bit worried about, offending some of you and breaking the fourth wall when criticising your name and choices of your characters. But that was purely about my...
No, that's the thing, we
character.
don't, and that was it. It was so funny, it was so brilliant, and yeah, it was one of those ones that after nearly a year, no one's brought it up. Now, and obviously there are only the four of us. There aren't hundreds of NPCs, but So, and the thing is, Matt also knew that name was a gamer name I had from ages and ages and ages ago, and I brought it in again because this is my first character, and I've just messed about. So no one's brought it up, but it's so nice that someone now has. And it's just because
I'm trying to even figure out where Dargon came from in the first place, because that's back in our Halo multiplayer days.
It was here it is then. It was trying to come up with a cool name that had my initials in. So it has DAR, and then it was making something else, and I didn't even twig. And
this fits into your Halo gameplay style.
Yeah,
because Dave's there 1 minute and then fucked off the next. Yeah,
and also fucking dangerous with a handgun, but that's a completely different story. But yeah, it was always that, and then I also remember they went into other games, and we were like, people kept spelling my name wrong as Dragon. I'm like, no, it's Dargon, and then went, oh yeah, shit, I didn't even think about that when I was making the name. So I just thought it was funny to use it, especially as we were playing Dungeons and Dragons, and so actually to be called out on it this time was absolutely gold.
Now so officially renamed to Dungeon and Dargon.
So yeah.
Yeah, and
for anybody,
I just want to say, Matt, I'm so sorry for not getting Gary for so long. When you I really apologise. That's right up my street. I'm really sorry.
That was one dad joke all session. My one dad joke, and nobody got it. Just totally over their heads. I almost had to do a double take. So for anybody that doesn't know, Paul and I play D&D on a Tuesday night with some of our colleagues. I thought you meant the character Gary then for a second.
No, not the character Gary. I'm more referring to Oldman, the old Oldman, the old Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
I thought he was really he was really interesting kind of character, because there was this bit at the beginning when we were like, what's he doing here? What's his deal? Is he just a guy that's just serving as a guide for loads of other people? But it turned out that no, he's someone that's been stuck here for apparently 50 years. It's oof.
My thought, which was very much my thought, not Dargon's, and I was trying to work out if Dargon would have ever known this, and that was, again, it was coming from the Garth Nix and all that, and my knowledge of Dungeons and Dragons, and going, I had even written that you are a wizard in the sheet that we do for our stats, but I really wanted to believe that you were a necromancer, and that's why you were here, because you kind of preferred it a little bit. You kind of popped in, you chilled out a bit, and then maybe went back into the real world if you had to, kind of thing. It was almost like you were nuts as you were, but sort of that you actually had become that nuts, that's why you were moving down. What was very cool was the fact that obviously you weren't, but that was still how it came across as so confusing.
Yeah, it was it was definitely an interesting thing, and the choices. It's a very strange thing to be so heavily RP based, I guess, on
Yeah.
as a character. I guess I had to do a lot of role play. I didn't do as much as I would have liked. Growth mindset. I would have liked to have done a little bit more. But it's very tough to confuse people or try to confuse people and then still try and drive the conversation forward, because I felt that sometimes I was too confusing, that it was just like, well, I don't know what to say. But then at the same time, I was kind of happy with that, because that's pretty fun.
No, I
it was
think
very good.
I think it was great. I think it was really great.
It was good.
And I mean, I don't know the school that he is in of wizards, so I'm like, still a secret. I have no idea. What's his subclass essentially? I don't know what it is. So there's still a mystery.
I
there.
think there's still a lot to Daimos to be
Can we ask,
be explored yet.
what was the spell or thing that gave the knight disadvantage on us? That sort of ethereal shield. What was it? I have no idea.
No idea.
Your choice,
Fine
mate.
if not.
You don't have to give it away, because
I'm-
you know,
No,
if it's not just like a simple spell, then
Well, you said what was it, and all I'll just say is maybe it wasn't. That's
nice, yeah, good. Gary Oldman's still here.
Yeah, maybe the second character's me, actually, thinking about it.
Yeah, because
I mean, there was a lot of stuff that
because
you could see and you couldn't see, and that stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
because it was Phantasmal Killer, and then
That was
Like-
awesome.
that was so good. I love that. And then the box, I have no idea what that spell was, but it's probably like Private Sanctum or something of the like.
I just thought it was minor illusion, just like, you know, hiding inside an illusion.
Could be.
It wasn't actually going to hurt. It wasn't going to hurt or harm anyone. It was just like, you know, if you are an enemy and you just see a box, you're going to fight the things in front of you, not the box.
on fire.
Yeah, and then obviously, yeah, it's like, just to make doubly sure, next time I'll put it on fire. Well, yeah, very cool.
I don't know, fire,
It's really cool.
undead, not the two things that really go well together, are they? So
It's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. So yeah, very cool.
I had a lot of fun with that as well, because obviously, being in the realm of death, there was going to be a lot of undead. But then, using the Garth Nix mythology, he talks about the fact that when you get so far into death, creatures become very warped and different. So I got to play around with a lot of aberrations this week.
That was,
Yeah.
that was very very cool to have Theogodin there. I knew it the second that you said, you know, before he'd even turned his head up. I knew it was, and it was very cool. I'm so glad that I already knew exactly what Kirik was going to do as well. That was so like, if you don't do this, I'm going to be so disappointed.
There was a couple of things, like there was a thing about like Carrick jumping off with him and then dimension dooring himself back up, or if he tried to like pull Carrick with him, something like that. But then I thought, you know what, like it's just an inflict wounds. I rolled so badly on that roll as well. I rolled like three. I rolled one of them above a 5. The rest was all like 2s and 3s, and I was like, good.
So as we discussed last week on Malt Magic and More, without his patron, level 5 rogue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true.
Yeah.
5 rogue.
Yeah, Jesus. That is just... That was
Bits and
incredible.
pieces of a level 5 rogue now, but
Yeah. So... Did you saw a symbol or something just before you left? So... I suddenly thought... Well, because it was a rune, I was like, oh shit, was he like a key holding something back? Do you know what I mean? That type of, you know, crap.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out what that is.
So I have to figure out what that is when it comes about, which is quite interesting. But yeah.
Paul knows I love just throwing symbols around all over the place when we're playing D&D these days. Just like, oh, you've done this. There's a symbol in the sky.
Well, look, at least he didn't throw us a door, otherwise we'd be here till 2 a.m. So thank God for not giving us a door.
I did throw you doors, but I gave you the guide to get through them.
Yeah, true.
True. At least we had someone in the party with intelligence above 14, I assume.
I was about to say mine's as
Yeah,
well.
I had
isn't it?
Yeah,
I think you've got max intelligence, haven't you?
yeah, I've got intelligence of
It's
20.
insanely high,
Nice.
put it that way, yeah.
Ooh, now
Doesn't
here's,
surprise me.
here's another question. Is my strength going to come back after a long rest, or is it going to need a greater restoration, or is it going to need something else?
So the effect from that spell is that it will need a short or long rest.
Oh, okay, cool. Because I
that
But
knew...
you are currently in death.
Yeah.
Yes. So to go through the creatures that you fought tonight, they were... You first had two shadow horrors, and then a
Nice.
shadow assassin,
Ooh.
which you guys were just peppering things before I had the chance to do the rest of my stuff I was lined up. Then there was a skittering horror. You knew that was a skittering horror. And then it was a take on a death knight.
Nice.
I thought it was a death knight, but then we started like bulldozering through it, and I was like, I don't. Is it because death knights are like CR 18 or something stupid like that? So
Because of the spells and because you were dealing damage, there were certain things I had to do from a bonus action perspective, just to be like, no, okay, we need to try and drag this out a bit longer, and then boom.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the fucking symbol of the Raven Queen pops up and just, like, confuses the shit out of it. So,
Yeah, that was clutch from everyone pulling that lot together. You had the guiding
was.
bolt. You had your invulnerability. No, what's it called? Path of the Grave. Is it?
After the grave.
Path
Yeah.
of
Path of the Grave. Yeah, vulnerability to all damage. Oh, love it.
You did 68 damage with that strike.
which didn't matter because it had 24 hit points left.
Holy crap! Nice. Yeah. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the type of
well.
stuff, and so I've been looking over the past week as to how a fighter can get advantage. Obviously, I've known that there are a number of things that the other players could do to help, and obviously that actually happened tonight, which is really cool. But also, it's just been interesting to look at it because also, again, this is actually the first... I talked about this before, but this is the first time that I have not done a single spell. They didn't even use a cantrip Booming Blade. Not a single one.
That's true. You didn't even
Not
Booming Blade
a
today.
single one. The only one I nearly
Yeah.
did, very nearly did, was obviously Misty Step, but that is a what do you call it? A part of the
From an-
actual item. Yeah.
From an
So that is
object,
not
an
me
object.
casting it at all. That is simply an effect coming from this. I wasn't doing a single one, and that was actually quite cool. I liked that. It was good fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was good.
No, it was good.
As we say, with the
cool.
what do you call it, the action management, but that did actually open up my bonus actions for other things, which really did help, and so very, very useful. Yeah.
So yes, I mean, the good news is, depending on what you two choose to do next week and what happens during the session, whoever is alive by the end of next session, or by a certain point of next session, will get to level up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
So it's whether we get back. Oh, it's going to be really interesting because we're probably going to play two guys in death and Ander going on a complete, like, as he
You
said,
talk about don't split the party. I think you've split the party as
Yeah.
far as it can be possible to split the party.
Bothrid,
Pretty
a barbarian, is going to be trying to haul back Ander from, God knows what.
Yeah.
Yes. And then there is the after effect of the Feywild we have to delve into as well. Because you don't just walk
jeez.
out of the Feywild.
Yes. Good
So much.
Yeah.
gravy.
There
It's
is
going to be
a lot
exciting.
to happen.
We're still gonna
A lot has
run into-
already happened.
run-
So.
Still gonna run into Deimos at some point. Be like,
Hopefully.
oh.
In a tavern. Yeah, but also, he's going to be, what is it, 50 years younger, so we're not going to bloody know. We're going to walk past him
That's
like,
true.
cheers, how you doing? Lovely, see ya, and then just walk off again.
He'll recognize us though.
Yeah.
Yeah. like you've got to remember he might not bother. He didn't even say goodbye to you when he ran through the portal. So
He didn't.
He just
No, I
literally
didn't notice that.
fucking booked it, didn't he?
I mean, if you were in the realm of
Yeah.
death for 50 years and then you were given the option to just go back, he'd be like, "Yup,
Yeah, you won't be hanging around.
bye."
yeah.
Okay, thanks, bye.
Yeah.
Just want to know what that city
think,
is
yeah.
now.
Yeah, which city is he next to? What woods is he next to? And
I think that's interesting. You didn't reveal that. That's
I'm not going to reveal that, mate.
Of course he
Your character
didn't.
Yeah, no,
of course, he wasn't going to reveal it because also it leads us to believe that it could not be in Nylin.
Exactly.
So we don't know.
Yeah.
I ain't saying shit.
Yeah, exactly. There we go.
Yeah.
I'll let my characters reveal their backstories when they want to.
yeah, true.
Now here's
Yeah,
the
I
question:
think-
Was Deimos the same level as we were?
Deimos was level 10.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
He bought
What
them.
level? What
We're
level are you
11.
guys?
11,
11,
soon
yeah.
to be 12. Well, maybe be 12.
Well, if you don't die. Yeah.
Again.
Again, yeah. Yeah, how many times can you float down that river and then just get...
Yeah, also, I think whatever happens
At this
after
point,
this...
we're just going to turn into
yeah,
a water park.
Yeah, after this,
Yeah.
after the Feywild excursion and, and whatever else we need to deal with after coming back out of that, let's just travel around Nylin getting as many diamonds as we can. How about that? Yeah.
I mean, we've got diamonds.
Yeah, but that's
Diamonds
providing
not
the cleric
problem.
doesn't die.
That's very true. Yeah, yeah. That's a very good
And
point.
providing your rogue doesn't wish for an anti-magic spell.
And
Yeah.
I fail all my saving throws, death saving throws. That was amazing. I rolled like an 8, a 7, and an 8. I was like, oh,
To be
brilliant.
fair, last week I properly screwed Kirik over because that creature just tried to use its ability, and that was like, that's it, 2 death saving throws gone.
Yeah.
I mean, again,
Oh, well.
it was one of those ones that's like, but that was what's really interesting. My fighting this session would have really helped last session. So that type of learning curve has been really helpful to know that, it's just to keep doing that. It's really, really interesting. So, yeah.
Paul, you were going to say something.
Well,
You
yeah,
were
I was just going to say about, because you were talking about the wish. And yeah, as a viewer, that wish was, it was, I don't want to be offensive, but it was both excruciating and amazing at the same time because, you can see the errors and I think you covered it last week on Malt, Magic and More as well, where you were just like, you're glad he did it the way that he did it. I think you said that, Dave. And yeah, it was a good thing to add to the story, but it was just so funny watching that happen and just be like, oh no.
Yeah, I think what I liked during
Yeah.
that episode is actually, Dave, you started to say, well, what if you do this? And then realised, actually, no, I'm dead. This is his choice. And you went, just do what you want to do.
Yeah.
So Danny went ahead with it.
Yeah, so I had to stop myself and I was like, no, it's all you do it. And I am glad that, again, I stopped myself, that he did what he was going to do because it did end up in the result that actually was really good for that end. All the other things that we had discussed, privately about what were you going to use that wish spell for, some of them may have worked earlier in the fight and would have been awesome. And other ones may have really turned it round, even if he did exactly the same thing earlier on in the fight. But none of them were going to be helpful at that point. None of them. So the only one that helped was that one. And yes, it screwed us over. We were already dead. Right? And it really was a cut your losses and you have to finish this. And he did. And I
was going to say, from a DM's perspective, cutting off magic at that point probably saved Anders' ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was the thing to do, absolutely, at that point. And it's really interesting to hear from you, Paul, what you thought, because obviously we were kind of in the moment, kind of playing it, and then I suddenly thought, like, because I had a whole turn plan of what I was going to do, because I was going to like get Dargon up and then try to run away or something. But it was really interesting that then when Anders said that, I was like, I had a moment of like, yes. Oh no, there's nothing I can do to help Dargon now.
I mean, you can
So
see it on
that was-
everybody's faces, though. I watched the episode back. Like, I'm way behind in re-watching all of the episodes and re-listening to all the podcasts. But last week, so I was like, I've just got to watch this. And yeah, that there's that moment where I think I was cooking a barbecue and I stopped cooking, like took everything off just to watch that moment where he catches, so casts the wish, just to see what happens. But yeah, no, it's great to get that viewer's perspective as well, Paul. So
Yeah,
any
no,
more
thank you.
feedback like that
Yeah,
you want to throw out, just keep doing it. So.
I mean, like you may
Yeah.
have felt today. You even said it. When you're actually in it and doing this here, you actually do think of it in a very different manner than when you're a viewer. So those crucial things where you could well be screaming at the TV like "that's brilliant" or that, we very well could be thinking the opposite thing. Is this the right thing to do, or we are thinking this is a brilliant idea, and then obviously 10 minutes later you get the "oh no," because there are so many things going on in our heads, and you have to eventually decide to pick one. And I love the fact that some of them don't always work well.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think they say on quiz shows a lot, don't they, that when you're at home, it's you can answer all the questions super easy, but then being there, knowing it was coming around to me, I was looking down just at my character sheet just constantly, and I was just like, I've literally not got a fucking clue what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Whatsoever. And yeah, I felt like that quiz show where the time was just ticking down. I was like, yeah, if I was at home, if I was at home just sat on the settee mere 1 meter away, I'd know exactly what spell I'd use. But yeah, in the situation, it was very tough. And yeah, I think that, it's definitely fun to see. I won't be watching it back because I'll just cringe my eyes out at my.
No, you got it. It's great.
I mean,
Loved that accent as well. It was brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was so good. Like, because obviously we had no idea what I had no idea what you were gonna play. So I was like, okay, yeah, like what? And then it's like, oh, it's a guide. And I was like, okay, cool, a guy from the Raven Queen, cool, great. And then it's just something so completely out of what I was thinking. I was like, yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah.
So
what Kirik expected, an old, quiet cleric who had devoted himself for years and years and years and was happy to be beside a guardian of the Raven Queen. And what did we get? A bucket full of batshit crazy.
Yeah, stew.
His stew.
Yeah.
Putrid
I
stew.
don't really know why I threw that one out. Yeah, that was.
Oh man, that's
great.
RP. That is
that was
the
brilliant.
perfect
That was brilliant.
RP moment.
And I truly want to know whether it was whether there was some people in the chairs, or was that just a mage hand? Was it you know what I mean? It's just really, really interesting.
Yeah, that moment with the chair proper like sent a shiver down my spine. I was like, oh no.
I think, without giving it too much away, that what you did there, Matt, with that bit, because we hadn't discussed that kind of actually plays into the character a little bit and his name as well. Because I was. Yeah, well, I won't say anything else, but my enemies whether it's whatever. Yeah. The problem is I disguise me not having a clue with it being a mystery as though I'm some mysterious person, but realistically, I just have no clue what I'm doing.
It works.
You
Welcome to the world of DM.
Dungeon
I have no idea. Just make it.
Well, but again, every time I RP, and I'm sure you guys are the same. You have a newfound respect for DMing, although I know you do it as well. Yeah, it's.
I would also say that. Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't. This is my first character, first game. Never even thought of DMing, and it took me quite a while to even pluck up the courage. So yeah, I'm right there with you.
Yeah. Just trying to describe how you might do your own spells, because in my other campaign that Matt runs, I'm just a monk. So all I'm doing is I'm just punching stuff. And when it comes to I'm punching a lot of stuff.
Dope ass monk shit. Right, you just got to get it right.
Right.
Yeah.
When you were describing your character, I thought you were a monk. Because you're like, it's just really old. I thought you were going to be like that kind of really wise, really old monk master that then just kicks ass at the end. It's like, yeah. When you started saying, it's just me with a quarterstaff, I was like, oh. Quarterstaff was monk.
Predicting that Yoda moment at the end.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, I did think about that at one point, but yeah, I chose not to do anything like that.
Nah, it's fun to play other classes and stuff.
Absolutely.
I think,
especially like
going
from a monk, which is like I do a billion things a turn, to a wizard, which is like I cast one spell. That's it.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
Yeah, when you see the wizards can be either really clutch, like haste, or slow, or something else like that. Especially like slow, when it's like this could be really, really helpful, but also it's got a DC check. Fail that, you have spent your entire round, and that could even be 10-15 minutes depending on how big your party is. And what you've done is cast slow, it didn't work, and you round to the next one. And you can honestly, as a wizard, go through an entire fight going, I did nothing. Right? But when it works, it's so useful that it's worth that risk and that gamble. And yeah, I think it's great.
Sure.
You pick You pick the right ones though to do it though. You pick the right
for sure.
Yeah, the character's definitely not set up to be a damage dealer.
No, it wasn't. So the one thing I find really interesting about D&D characters, and I dream up many different D&D characters, is I love them to just be so disadvantaged. Yeah. There's ones that I'd like to play in the future where it's like you have a disadvantage on every roll for whatever reason, because you are. I don't know if you've seen Merlin or the newest version of Merlin. I can't remember what it's called. With Megan Stark in it. What's she called? The one that appears at the end in the extended credits. Who plays Thingy Stark?
Are you on about?
I don't know.
It's basically about the Fae, isn't it? It's about fairies.
Yeah, it's about the Fae.
Plays into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was on Netflix.
But that, anyway.
I can't remember the name of it now.
Yeah. I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, he's that Merlin there he's almost like obviously a magic user, but then he's lost all magic and now he's kind of wielding swords and become a barbarian almost, that kind of thing. I think that's really cool because you could become somebody that's a spell caster, but yeah, you don't really rely on spell casting, so you're completely screwed in that sense. You just purely rely on swinging a big sword around. I think that kind of stuff is cool. Cursed, that's the one. Yeah, it's
Cursed.
It's interesting. I think that character is great. So yeah, I think there's definitely some good things to be had, and hopefully this one's got enough in the future. If I ever make it a reprisal, then it's got enough disadvantages that it could screw himself over for sure.
I will happily have you back on the show.
Absolutely.
Anytime.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll wait for one of you to go on holiday, right?
We can just add an extra slot in.
We just add another box. It's fine. I'll get round to it tomorrow.
It's been super fun. Thank you very much for inviting me. I appreciate it.
That's all right.
Thank you very much. Of again, mate. Thank you.
Well, shall we wrap up this evening?
Yes.
Alrighty.
Thanks again, Paul.
Yeah, thank you ever so much, Paul, our lovely guest, for joining us. It has been absolutely wonderful to have you in here. Let's just do some changes here. There we go. Yeah, thanks ever so much for everyone who has joined us tonight on Malt, Magic and More. And thank you again, another special thank you to Paul for joining us. Absolutely wonderful. Do please follow us on Twitch, like and subscribe on YouTube if you can. That would be really, really helpful. We will be now streaming at 7:30 moving forwards, hopefully, on a Monday night and a Wednesday night. So I look forward to seeing you there. Have a lovely, lovely evening, and we'll see you next week.